Hey guys, it's the end of the month, and as some of you already know, end of the month is when we send out some stuff to our patrons on Patreon. But just before we do that, we just want to give you an update what's going on with YouTube. Apparently a couple of people missed the story, and a couple of people have sent us messages and said, why can't we comment on your videos? Why have you disabled the comments? So we can't comment on your videos. Well, we didn't. We didn't. YouTube did it. Those of you who missed the story, it's got something to do with some pedophiles were doing something on YouTube. What often happens is the people who abuse YouTube find loopholes in their system and then abuse it, and then YouTube don't know how to fix it or don't know how to close the loophole. So their solution this time was to disable comments on millions of videos, apparently, was their clever solution to the problem. So it wasn't us. As it turns out, it seems we can turn back on the comments on the videos, but it's a bit of faffing to do it. So we've done it on a few videos, a few of the most recent videos. We've turned the comments back on, including this one, but it just takes too long. So, we've got 3,900 videos, so we don't know if they have the ability to turn on the comments back on or not. They turned them off, so we assumed that they could turn them back on. We don't know if that's going to be the case, that people are never going to be able to comment on our own old videos or not. We don't know what the story is. They haven't told us, and they probably won't. We just don't know. So we can turn them on individually, but if we were to try and do it for all 3,900 videos, it'd take weeks. We'd be sitting here for weeks on the computer just to turn the comments back on. So what we're doing is, as we upload new videos, we're making sure we turn the comments on for each new one. We're not sure what the result of that will be, whether they have the system watching out for that and whether we're going to get in trouble for that or not. We're not quite sure what the story is, but because we've done nothing wrong, we don't have a problem with doing it. So a couple of people asked, because we have 100,000 subscribers, we do have access to their creator, what are they called? The creator response team, right? No. The creator support team that are supposed to give us support, and we know the result of contacting them, because every time we've had a problem, we've contacted them, and there's nothing they can do, basically. They just send you a cut and paste response and don't do anything, It would save them time and money. Someone suggested that they label channels like ours as safe so that we don't get caught up in these things, that these regular goings on, which would be a brilliant idea, because if they dealt personally with different channels and they go, right, these guys have been going for 10 years, they've never broken the rules, and hit some magic button that just leaves us out of this nonsense, and they did that to all the ones that they actually had dealings with, it would actually save them a lot of time and money, because then there'd be less channels caught up in this nonsense every time it goes down, because it never ends. I mean, in the last 10 years, there's been lots of occasions like this where we've been punished for stuff because someone else has broken the rules, so they've done some blanket punishment to everybody, and so they regularly do it. So if they did have some magic button they could push just to leave different channels out of it, trusted channel or something like that. They've got verified channels, like ours is verified, they know it belongs to us. So if they had a trusted channel system, then that would leave channels like ours out of these dramas, but they don't bother. So anyway, we did it. We always make an effort to send them a message just to see what the response will be. And the same response as always, basically. We sent a message and said, the comment section's been turned off on all our videos. Why? Is all we said. And the response was, thanks for reaching out. Don't know about you guys, but that's a really annoying response. It's so Google, Thank you for your email, or thanks for contacting us would be good. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for reaching out. Apologies if your comments were disabled for the majority of your videos. Comments on your channel have been temporarily disabled. This is part of recent actions to protect minors on YouTube, and is not because your content violated our guidelines. Right, cut and paste, as always, and this is all we ever get from them, is cut and paste, And all it's doing is telling us what we already saw elsewhere on the when we looked into it. This is what we already saw. On February 20th, 2019, we began disabling comments on tens of millions of videos that may include minors. Now that's pretty interesting because we have 3,900 videos and very few contain minors, probably, I don't know how many, 20 maybe at the most, let's say 30, who knows, but minors, it's really rare. We had an interview one with some high school students. We had a couple of stories about school here, about walking to school and the dramas we had with walking to school with the kids and the dangers and things. But you know, it'd be surprising if there was more than 20 of our videos include minors, and out of 3,900. So who knows what algorithm they used to decide this? Because you know they can't have used the titles or the tag words or the content. You know, so it's just weird. All of our 3,900 videos had the comments disabled because, what did they say? Because it might contain minors or something, suspected of, that appeared, that tens of, hang on, we've reviewed and removed thousands, hang on, wait a minute. Disabled comments on tens of millions of videos that may include minors. Right. Nah. Those of you who watch our videos regularly will rarely do you see kids in our videos. We've reviewed and removed thousands of inappropriate comments that appeared against videos with minors in them, and this is their problem. Apparently pedophiles were posting some links on videos that contained minors, and then that used the YouTube algorithm to help out more pedophiles or something. Not on our channel, by the way. We read every single comment on our channel, and if anything's really sus, we delete it. And can't recall any pedophile comments on our videos ever. It's not, ours isn't the sort of channel that's going to attract that, is it? Really? We've also terminated hundreds of viewer accounts for the comments that they left on videos and reported illegal behaviour to the NCMEC. Assuming that's some American organisation for attacking pedophiles or something, who knows, so they can work with the proper authorities. Nothing to do with us or you, and let's keep in mind, it's actually more insulting to you guys because they're not saying we did anything wrong, they're saying that the people who leave the comments are doing something wrong, which you guys haven't done anything wrong either, but it's you guys that they're actually offending. You know, it's unbelievable, isn't it? While the creators of these videos may have done nothing wrong, there we go, we're going above and beyond our existing protections in the near term on content that may include or endanger minors. Well, now they're talking about us. So when they're talking about, you know, the content, well, content doesn't include or endanger minors, does it? You know? Our goal is to protect creators and the broad ecosystem while we improve our systems. How's this protecting us? You know? Nothing on our channel's broken any rules or any laws or anything. How's this protecting us? Making it harder for you guys to leave comments, or impossible on most of the videos. We don't take this action lightly. We know comments are a big way you could heck with your fans. Hate the word fans. We don't take this action lightly. We know comments are a big way you connect with your fans. Well, yeah, we don't call you guys fans, but it is how we connect with you, because keep in mind, YouTube shut down the personal message system, so we can't send each other messages anymore, can we? The only way on YouTube you guys can connect with us is by leaving comments on our videos. So of course our people on Facebook and Twitter and Patreon can talk to us that way, but on YouTube, you know, it's not a big way that we communicate with our viewers. It's the only way now, because they shut down the personal message system. To protect the entire community from hang on. We know comments are a big way to connect with your fans, but we're doing this to protect the entire community from potential abuse. See, they're always, the Google bullshit, they're always trying to make it that they're doing it for us, right? They always do this, don't they? Whatever they do, they disable this or take this out or change that or, you know, remove this or take away some feature. It's always for us, isn't it? For our benefit. It's not. We keep hearing, people keep sending us links. There's some big advertisers that heard about this pedophile thing because there's someone made a video about it, about the pedophiles active on YouTube, and a whole heap of big companies withdrew their advertising. That's what the problem is. So it's the advertising money that Google are worried about, and we paid the price for the way they responded to it. They panicked, obviously, and went, shut down all the comments. Okay, we can't catch all these pedophiles. Let's just shut down all the comments so, you know, nobody can comment and then we won't have to worry about it. So protect the entire community from potential abuse. Bullshit. We're interesting more in the tools we have to detect. Hang on. We're investing more in the tools we have to detect and remove the content in comments, videos, and the areas of YouTube. So yeah, they're trying to work out how to fix it. Well, God knows how they're going to do that, or how long it's going to take. If you're a parent or have minors in your videos, please read our Privacy and Safety Center and consider keeping the comments turned off. If you do re-enable comments, you should hold and carefully review all new comments for approval before they are posted to your videos. Yeah, we have the option of doing that. So every time you post a comment, it's not public until we check it. So we don't do that. What we do is we read all the comments, and if anything's really bad, we delete it. But we've had no pedophile comments from you guys. Occasionally you get someone abusing someone else, or someone abuses us, you know. You get a bit of that. Occasionally we delete people for that sort of stuff. But no pedophile stuff. Nothing that's put children at risk. It's a bit hard to understand too how a video, I was thinking about this, some of the videos we've got that do have kids in them are 10 years old, which means the videos are 10 years old, which means that the kids are now in their 20s, right? The high school students are now in their 20s. They're not minors anymore. So this is talking about protecting minors. So if you do get some pedophile on there saying pedophile comments about some kids that are in a video, but those kids are now 30 years old or 25 years old, they're not minors anymore, are they? So who's the victim? Who's the victim if some devious old dude is leaving dirty comments about some girl who's now 28 years old? Who's the victim, right? I'm all for protecting kids. Our family's full of kids. You know, we got lots of little kids in our family. We go out of our way to protect them, but hard to see how this does. But anyway, we do already read all our comments, and there's nothing like that on our videos anyway. In the meantime, if you see any type of comment, videos, comments, etc., that you think exploits minors, please flag it for review. Yeah, that's what we need. More people flagging videos and getting channels in trouble. And select child abuse in the reporting tool. No form of content that endangers minors is acceptable to us. So it's all propaganda basically, isn't it? Trying to reassure the big spending advertisers that, you know, that they're onto it. But it's irrational. Their fear, first of all, how it puts any children at risk in the first place is a bit hard to fathom. How do children become victims of this? Are the children that are in the videos reading the comments and being traumatised by it? How is it that the children are actually being damaged in the first place? And then how is any of this going to protect children anyway? It's weird. It's just weird and irrational. It seems that the advertisers pulling their advertising was weird and irrational as well. There does seem to be in some sections of the world at the moment a really irrational sort of paranoia and witch hunt type reaction, overreaction to anything like this. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, that's all their thing. Again, we can't do anything about any of the YouTube stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to enable the comments in all our new videos. That's all we can do. We just can't go through 3,900 videos and re-enable it. Each one takes a couple of minutes. Multiply that out by 3,900. It's just not doable. We just don't have the time for it. So with all the new videos, you'll be able to leave comments on. The other thing is, again, we don't trust YouTube at all. Again, this has taught us not to trust them, that they could shut us down any minute. So please follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. And if you haven't already had a look at our Patreon page, please have a look at our Patreon page and consider supporting us on Patreon, because, again, there's no way we would have come through this week still making videos. We just had, our family sat and talked about this again after all this happened, and went, look, we've had enough, just sick of YouTube, and talked about leaving and putting the videos on the other website, but we know that the patrons want us to stay on YouTube, and the patrons that we've already got, a couple of them stepped up and increased their pledges, and a few other people came on board. And when YouTube's nonsense starts to get us down, and the patrons step up and do stuff like that, it really changes the atmosphere for us. It's really reassuring. It reminds us why we do it. It reminds us that we do it in spite of YouTube, that the YouTube company itself, doesn't matter. The fact that they run it in such a ruthless, unethical, unprofessional, it's not professional, it's not businesslike, it's not ethical, it's not reasonable, it's not fair. It's terrible. The fact that they do that doesn't matter, because the reason we make videos is for you guys. So we don't, what we just got to do is keep stepping around all the nonsense that they do, so that we can just keep making our videos, because that's what we like to do. And you guys supporting us and encouraging us, some of the encouraging words that people have said and some of the encouraging things that people have done over the last few days has really, balanced out for the YouTube nonsense. Because again, if it wasn't for the 182 people on Patreon that we have now, there's no way we would have just gone, nah, not again. Because some of you will know, the last 10 years we've been kicked in the teeth by YouTube so many times, where we've been punished for things that we haven't done wrong, basically. Got caught up in their nonsense and being punished, and they've done this regularly over the last 10 years. They'll just suddenly go boom, they disable their monetization, and all these things they've done over the years, where they just punish everybody because a couple of people are doing the wrong thing and they don't know how to stop them. And inevitably they bring in new systems that make it easier. Someone mentioned the other day about trolls or something and people damaging other people's channels, and YouTube's going about protecting us, but every new system that they've brought in for security just gives the bad people more tools to do us damage, and then the YouTube system doesn't protect us from that. And the creator support people definitely don't protect us. This is all they do. Those guys that work in there just spend their day sending cut and paste responses to emails. That's all they do. They don't have the ability to do anything. They didn't go, oh, you guys, yeah, we know you guys, you've been good for 10 years, we'll turn your comments back on. They didn't do that. They didn't say, hey, we'll turn your comments back on, but please just make sure you check them, make sure there's nothing sus coming up in them. They didn't do that. They just sent the cut and paste. And that's all they do. They don't help us. They don't support us. They don't do anything. So, it's only those people on Patreon that are supporting us that have kept us going. So, again, if you haven't had a look at our Patreon page, please look at that. And, if you can spare $2 a month or something like that, please do. We've got people's pledging between $2 a month and $50 a month. One person's actually $60 a month is paying to support our channel, which is just amazing, isn't it? So, speaking of which, again, this isn't a random giveaway because Patreon don't allow random giveaways. Everybody who pledges more than $20 a month gets sent a copy of our How to Do Stuff in Japan book. So those of you who are interested in Japan or coming to Japan or know someone who is, please check our book out. There's always a link to it underneath our videos. So a signed copy of that book is going to be sent to Bob. Got to say the name of your street, Bob. Mockingbird Lane. How cool is that? Bob lives in Mockingbird Lane in Texas, USA. So a signed copy of the book's coming to you, Bob. Thank you for your support. There's a couple other people too in the 20 plus category who we haven't sent books to yet. We will shortly, okay? There is a small delay as we delay it for a little while, but they are coming. We keep a track. We know who we've sent them to, who we haven't, so it is coming. Also, those of you on Patreon, everyone on Patreon, if you want to buy some candy like this, a box of candy from Freedom Japanese Market, usually it's $35 sent to you anywhere in the world. They're going to give only the patrons on Patreon will get a $10 discount from the $35 box. So instead of $35, it's $25, and at that rate, they're not going to make any money on it. Okay, that's their cost price, so they'll make no money on it. So they've just asked us that the special link that we put on Patreon for you guys to use, please don't share it around. Please don't give it to anyone else on the internet, because it'll send them broke because they're not making any money from it. Okay, it's cost price. So yeah, if you're on Patreon and you want to buy, if you're on Patreon and you want to buy some of that candy, use the special code that we've got on there, and you can get it for $25 instead of $35. If you're not on Patreon, you'll have to pay the full price. There's a link underneath this video, Freedom Japanese Market, if you want to buy some Japanese yummies online. The other one is the guys at studytrip.com are giving you guys a 15,000 yen discount off their summer Japanese course. Now that's $150 discount off their summer Japanese study course. So there'll be a link underneath this video for those of you who aren't on Patreon, but also those of you on Patreon. Again, if you contact them with the link that we've got on Patreon, they'll give you 15,000 yen off your summer course if you're going to do their summer course with them. Come to learn Japanese in Japan. Anyway, thanks again for all your support, you guys. More videos coming soon.